Ever since Fortnite dove headfirst into the metaverse, they've had a heavy emphasis on in-game music in the form of jam tracks. And last year, I made a video where I talked about how jam tracks just weren't worth it. That was until they introduced game moments. This small, seemingly overlooked feature isn't just an awesome addition to the game, but it also makes jam tracks more accessible and might actually make you play better. Now that might seem a little far-fetched, but let me explain. So, as some of you may already know, I wasn't a fan of jam tracks. As someone who just doesn't play Fortnite Festival, I couldn't justify paying 500 V-Bucks for a wonky musical emote for Battle Royale. But fast forward to February of this year, and all that began to change. I actually never knew about this feature until I discovered it in my locker, and it really began to change the way I looked at jam tracks. The feature is called Game Moments, and it allows you to choose music to play from your locker once you jump off the battle bus, and when you get a Victory Royale. So I gave it a shot, and I instantly fell in love with it. I decided to buy Empty Out Your Pockets by WRLD, and I was hooked right away. Being able to start each and every game with a track that sets the tone and gets you hyped as you drop into the island is such a small change, but it truly makes a big impact. Now, I know you could just listen to your own Spotify playlist, but that would mean you have to time the song perfectly for every jump, which just doesn't hit the same. I currently have Empty Out Your Pockets by WRLD, Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd, and just to spice things up, I also have I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys as my rotation, and I love it. Being able to randomize your saved game moments allows for a tailored experience that is fresh each time. It always plays the most hype part of the song. For example, with Freebird, it's the chorus leading into the iconic guitar solo, which is just an awesome way to start a game. Now, for copyright reasons, I can't play Freebird, but here is some footage of me dropping in set to a copyright-free guitar solo. Pretty fire, right? And as of recording this video, they also just dropped Dream On by Aerosmith, which is a peak song. This is what I'm talking about. I'm now excited to check the shop for new jam tracks. My one nitpick is that it would be nice to choose the part of the song that it starts at, whereas right now it's unchangeable. For example, with Empty Out Your Pockets by WRLD, the part they chose is the verse near the end, which results in the song ending before you touch the ground. For the most part, it's perfect, but this would be a nice option. And this feature makes sense for Fortnite when you are reminded about its demographic. Fortnite's main player base is Gen Z, which makes up roughly half. And a study by Deloitte found that 42% of Gen Z gamers listen to their own music while playing games. That is a big percentage of gamers. Fortnite saw this trend and have been introducing new ways to incorporate music into the game, and this is a welcomed addition. Now, I also mentioned that this feature might actually help you play better. So what do I mean by that? Well, this starts with something called the Mozart Effect. Back in 1993, a study conducted on college students reported that listening to musical symphonies from composer Mozart resulted in higher scores on an IQ test. This study kicked off the discussion about the impact of music while completing tasks, and today it is not limited to Mozart. The current consensus is that listening to music you like can boost alertness and positive emotions, which can enhance short-term cognitive performance. Obviously, this isn't going to make you a Fortnite master, but if you see a jam track that you love in the shop, it might just be worth picking up instead of avoiding them altogether. You know, it's funny that this small addition can make me change my mind about jam tracks. Now, while I still think that 500 V-Bucks is still too much for these songs, I've definitely been keeping an eye on the shop to see if there are any more songs I want to add to my rotation. The main point of this video is that music plays a big role in our lives. And if playing Freebird as you drop into another game of Fortnite makes your enjoyment of the game even slightly better, then in my opinion, it makes it all worth it. For those of you who stuck around, here is my gift to you. If you want to have multiple jam tracks chosen at random, save each one as its own preset by clicking the three dots or the More Options button. Then when you click Load Preset, choose the Random button. This will shuffle between all of your saved presets each and every game. You're welcome. Also, if you like the content I've been putting together, it would mean the world if you subscribe to me. Only 3% of you are, and if that's you, then you are a legend, and thank you. With this Star Wars chapter almost halfway over, I still have one question on my mind. Will we ever get lightsaber pickaxes? If you are also curious, then click the video on screen now to see how they just might make it into the game. Thanks for watching.